What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Grow, Live, Dream. I'm your boy, LeVar Robinson, and this is my brother T. Hutton, the motivator, and we super excited to be talking to you guys today about what happens when you get off track. My brother, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing really, really good, man. Today's been a great day, a busy day, a productive day, and a great day all over. Just
All
overall a
around, huh?
great day. So, just ready, man, for this topic, man. Share this information. And it's funny when you called me and you were talking about the topic. And I was like, bro, I remember something from my childhood. And I went and found it.
And you went and found it. I love it. I love it. And listen, I think a lot of people are going to really connect with this because a lot of people end up getting off track and a lot of people don't know what to do, right? They don't know what to do in order to get themselves back in the mix, in order to get themselves back going. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do a little house rules to everybody that's here, to everybody who comes in. Make sure that you love, like, comment, get in on the conversation. We're gonna be asking you guys some questions. Please feel free, comment, put your input in, right? Because over here at Grow, Live, Dream, we want to make sure that collectively as a unit, as a team, and as a family, that we push people to the best places of their life and where they want to go. With that being said, let's get it. T. Hutton, jump right in, brother.
Jumping right in, man. So what do you do when you get derailed? So when we first start off with this concept on being derailed, like what does that really mean? What does it look like for people to get derailed? First thing come to mind to me is oftentimes, especially for me in my line of work, being a life coach and all, when we start off the new year, I'm talking like it is like a gym membership, man. It is overwhelming. Everybody's ready to start the new year with a New Year's resolution, and they're excited about the year, and they have all these big goals and plans. And then somewhere around about January the 2nd, life smacks them in their mouth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what happens is we see a start and a ramp up for all the new ventures that we want to do, all the life changes that we want to do. And as the year progresses on, and as we are now upon the middle of the year, we can talk about this. What happens when you get derailed? What happens when those New Year's resolutions go away? What happens when you say that I was going to do this for the first 3 months and then this for the next 3 months? And let's be honest, we didn't even complete the first 3 months, and better yet, moving to the second 3 months. The first quarter went off. So the second quarter, we didn't even try because we lost ourselves in the first quarter. What do we do when we get off track?
You know, the interesting thing about it is, and I want for everybody that's watching, if you have gotten off track of your goal already, I want you to be honest, to be like, hey, that's me. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, right? Put a 1 in the chat. If that's been you, right? You came in with a goal at any time in your life. You were on track. You were doing what you needed to be and doing what you needed to do. And all of a sudden you were on off track, right? And you didn't know what you needed to do in order to get back on track. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, because we're going to be real right now. We're going to be real about what needs to happen and for everybody to get to where they deserve to be. Right. So, we gonna understand something. It's hard to go 24/7, 365 in the zone. It's hard to go 24/7, 365 in the zone. And more times than not, when that happens, we get so far down on our own self that we have a hard time coming out of it. But that's okay, because we're going to give you guys some advice, right? We're going to give you guys some advice on what you need to do in order to get yourself back on track, right? So I'm going to jump in and I'm going to start right here. First thing, one of the first things that I suggest you do is audit your activities. Audit your activities. Start looking around at your life. What are you doing that doesn't match with where you're wanting to go? What are you doing? What are those activities? Are you watching TV all the time? Are you hanging out with people not going in the same direction with you all the time? I'm not saying sometimes it's okay. It's okay sometimes, but all the time, right? We might want to fix that, right? what would you say, T. Hutton, are some of those activities that you believe they need to audit in order for them to be able to get themselves back on pace, back on track?
You know, I would go as far as to say just your day-to-day activities,
Mm-hmm.
like from the time you wake up to the time you lay back down. It's important to know where those moments are going.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's, I believe it's 86,400 seconds in a day. You should be aware of where they're going. And it's funny because some people can tell you and they're spending like down to the penny. Like when your time is more important than your money, then you should realize you should be able to tell me down to the moment where you spent your time.
Mm-hmm.
Because wherever you spend your time, that's what's most important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's the only real scarce resource you have. Like, money comes and goes. You can get money back. You can make money. You can waste money. You can lose money. Heck, let's be honest. We probably have all found some money while walking down the road. It was good news to us, but bad news to somebody else because they lost that money. Well, the question is, where are you losing your time? It may be good news to somebody else because you're losing your time working on their dream, but it's bad news to you because you're losing your time working on somebody else's dream.
Man, listen, I remember when I was younger, I was walking up the street coming home and I found $200. I was like in fifth. I was in sixth grade at the time. I found $200 on the side of the road. I thought I was rich. I
I'll do
thought I
you
was
one
rich.
better.
And look, think. I went home and said, "Mama, look what I found." Nah. I had so many little Debbie cakes, and I didn't know what to do with myself at the time, right? So somebody else's loss was definitely my gain at the time.
Watch this. Let me do you one better, LeVar. Here's what's amazing about what LeVar said about auditing your time. Same situation. I'm at the store with my mom, and I reach in my pocket, and I pull out $500 out of my own pants pocket. Right now, I lost this $500 like 2 years ago, but it's in that little top pocket, that little small one, and I pull it out, and I'm like, I just won. Like, but here's the funny thing about it. It's the same thing that works with your time. When you start to audit your time, you start to audit your activities and seeing what you're doing, you start to get that time back. Now you feel rich. You feel saturated with the time that you've already had. It was already yours.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get it back, now you can reallocate it to something more important.
Right.
The direction that you want it to be going in. When we say, did you get off track? That meant you had a direction. See, a track has a direction. You can go two directions. You can go back or forward.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You got off track. You can go backwards or forward. Woo. All right.
But you had a direction to go in.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is that when we say you got off track, that means you had a direction. You were already working towards something. I don't know what your something is, but you were working towards something. Mm-hmm. You know what that something is. You know what that New Year's resolution was, what that goal was for 2020 that the pandemic you feel like stopped you on, the goal that you had coming into 2021. Let's be honest, the goal you had in 2018, 2019, 2017. Let's jump around. It doesn't really matter. You had a goal. Did you get off track while working on your goal? And when you get that time back, can you reallocate that time to that goal?
Right. And you know, and I although I would love to give an overall and just be like, hey, look, monitor your time in general, because I do believe you need to do that. But one of the things my mentor used to tell me to do is throughout your day in your journal, outline where you're spending your time, right? Because more times than not, you might even just be spending more time texting than what you think. You may be spending more time on your on the phone with your friends than you think, right? Time goes by so fast when you're doing certain things, especially when you're having fun, right? Look, especially when you're having fun.
I had to grab the phone for a reason, because there's an app I like to tell people to go get. It's called Time Logger, right? There's an app that actually helps you log your time so you can see where all your time is going. It's going to break it down, give you charts, graphs. It's going to show you your time in a way you've never seen it before.
Say what's the name? What's the name?
It's called Time Logger.
Time Logger. Let me go and put that in the chat.
Like you should check that app out. That app will allow you to start to time log to see exactly where your day is. It's going to give you a breakdown of your entire day. And the awesome part about it is if you do it for 2 weeks, you'll start to see where that time is you're losing it at. When you can't even put it into the time log, you'll see where you're losing it at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where am I losing time at? Here it is right here. For some reason, between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., I can't never figure out what I did that first hour of the day.
Right.
That's the time loss.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Interesting thing. Interestingly enough, a lot of people don't know that you actually operate at higher frequencies at certain times of the day. Yeah. So taking annotating what you have been doing, what you got done throughout the day, what you've been, where you spent your time, will actually let you know also what time of the day you get most done. So that's actually just a tip for you to be able to look at as you actually annotate and you use that app time logger, right, to pay attention to what you're doing during the day. See, in my business, I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs, right? And these entrepreneurs, more times than not, don't realize that we can aimlessly give away 24 hours in your day. You can aimlessly give away 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours. You can aimlessly do that if we're not paying attention to where we're giving that time. Right. So that's why, T Hutton, we got to make sure we're paying attention. Where am I giving my time? Who am I giving my time to? What am I giving my time to? Especially if I'm looking to go to a particular place in my life. If I'm trying to get to a particular place in my life, am I wasting my time on things that are not going to get me there? Somebody may say, well, I only spent 2 hours watching that TV show. I only watched 2 hours watching that movie. I only spent 2 hours, 3 hours. But truthfully, if you understand how things work, that could have been 2-3 hours that you use to actually do something good for where you're looking to go. If you feel like you've given your time away from time to time, go ahead and put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. Go ahead, Tia.
So you mentioned something earlier, and I wanted to throw it out there, but I want to let you finish your thought earlier about you can't be in the zone 24 hours a day. And sometimes you get in a funk, you get in a slump. It's interesting when you say this because I watched a little movie a little while back called Soul. It's an awesome movie on Disney. If you haven't seen it, I recommend. Huh?
That's a good movie. It's a dope movie.
So the character in the movie Soul, there's a point where they talk about this area called the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And you have these different people that do different things, but they get in the zone. And this is when they are functioning at their highest level. And interesting enough, this is a kid's movie, but there are some principles being taught in the movie that if you actually as an adult would pay attention to it, you can get some things from that.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to give it a kids movie thing. Like, I just think it's just a movie for everybody. Like, I'm telling you, that movie is so dope. It's so many principles that you can get at any age. Right. Yeah. So I would definitely suggest y'all go check that movie out. Go ahead, Tia.
So my point is saying that about the movie itself, though, is about being in the zone. And you may not always find yourself in the zone, but there's other things that are kind of like the opposite of the zone. And you'll see those people that get bogged down. And in the movie, they show people getting bogged down. And there's just people that have gotten off track. And see, they was in the zone maybe for a while, and then they gotten off track, and now they can't seem to find their way back out of it. They can't even get back to normal life. They're just stuck where they are, lost, meandering around in seas of nothingness. Go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing. Lost, like, for real. That movie is so fire on so many different levels, because you're right. That's what a lot of people do. They get to the point where they lost, or maybe they're defeated, right? Maybe they don't feel like they're good enough anymore, right? And they end up stuck in the opposite side of the zone, right? Or as a matter of fact, I'll give you the zone, just the wrong zone. Just the wrong zone. What's up, Letitia? How you doing, Queen? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Listen, a lot of people don't understand that sometimes what you have to do, T Hutton, is you have to take a step back and actually work on yourself more than you work on that job or more than you work on that business. Take a step back and start working on self. Start looking in the mirror, right? Start getting into those personal development books. Start getting around those right types of individuals. Start doing those things that you need to do to better yourself. Because if you're not bettering yourself and only thing you're doing is focusing on what you're doing, you're not growing like you need to grow anyway. Yeah. Right? The worst thing you can do is focus on getting to that $1 million. Get to that $1 million. You haven't grown a lick. You're not even at the pace of the million, and you wonder why you lost it. Y'all better hear what I just said.
Yeah, that's so real. It's interesting though. You start talking about working on self, so we're talking about getting off track. And what I like about this is about getting off track. Oftentimes, you get derailed. And see, there's a difference between getting off track and being derailed. You know, there's something that causes you to leave the track accidentally.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? There's generally a obstruction of some sort that prevents you from being able to go straight down the track. So you find yourself leaving the track accidentally. Here's the worst thing about it. I was reading a quote, and the quote said that oftentimes we're carrying hazardous material on trains, and it's these trains that tend to derail. And when they derail, they do damage to the community in which they derail in. Let me say that again. They do damage to the community in which they derail in. My question for you is, are you carrying hazardous material? Are you headed a direction, but you have so much negativity with you, so much bad things, so much luggage you're carrying that if you get derailed, you're going to hurt the community around you?
Man, come on. What you talking about right now? Listen, what you just said is so fire, because we don't realize that what's happening internally is actually shaping what's happening externally. what's happening internally, right? When the wrong things are happening internally, you can't even see the good things that are happening externally anyway. They'll ride right by you, right? So that in which you're talking about right now, that those negative chemicals, the hazardous waste that you're putting out into that community, putting out into the people that are around you, your friends and your family and everything, because you refused to get your internal self together. Oh man, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your future a disservice. You're doing your family a disservice. You got to get it together.
Yeah, you got to. They say emotions is the main thing that derails us. That derails communication, that derails visions and dreams. It's emotions. Because oftentimes we're not in control of our emotions. We allow our emotions to control us. You know, you've heard people say it so many times before, LeVar, are you the captain of your vessel? You know what I'm saying? Or are you just along for the voyage? There's too many of us along for the voyage. I like to joke. I like to joke with people about being out there on the sea of life, and or are you on the boat, or are you just a log being tossed back and forth by the currents? Because see, what I mean by the currents, and check this out, LeVar, what's current is what's currently going on in your life. Is that's controlling you. See,
say
just like the currents in the ocean.
Don't you move past that. Don't you move past that. Say that for me one more time.
See, the currents are like the currents in the ocean. They're controlling the log. It doesn't have any steers. You can't control it. So what's currently going on is what's affecting you. It's controlling your direction. But see, when you're in a ship, when you're the captain of the vessel, no matter what the currents are doing, you're able to maneuver, to go over, around, through. See, sometimes you go with the current and sometimes you go against the current, but the fact of the matter is you're going the direction that you choose, and you're not allowing what's currently going on beneath you, things going on below you. Because think about it, when you're actually on the boat, what's currently going on is beneath you. I'm going to say it again so somebody get that. When you're on the boat, when you're on the ship, the currents, the things that are going on trying to affect you, they are beneath you.
You know what? It's so crazy what you just said. That thing right there was so fire. I hope somebody got it. If you got it and that was fire, what was just said, I need you to go ahead and put a 7 in the chat. Please put a 7 in the chat, y'all, because this right here, that nugget that you just gave was so crazy, so crazy. So this is something else that I want you guys to do, right? Because understand what he just said is you're either the boat or you're the log, but you're the decision. You have the decision. It's your choice whether to believe that you are the boat or the log. It's your decision whether to believe whether you're the boat or the log. I'm going to say it one more time, then I'm going to move forward. It's your decision whether to believe whether you're the boat or the log. So with that being said, everyone should make sure, give yourself at least an hour of upskilling yourself every single day. In one way or the other, at least an hour. Don't go aimlessly being that log. Don't go aimlessly being that log. Because I'm going to tell you, if you don't focus, at least give yourself an hour or two, you're going to be like that log. You don't know when you're going to get to a destination. You don't know when you're going to get to where you need to go. But if you continue bettering yourself, you're going to be that boat. You're going to be that boat, right? And as that boat, you have an idea. You have a destination. You moving in a direction. Y'all don't understand what he just did to me. Go ahead, Tia, man. You killing me over there, man.
So you know what's funny though? Like I like the fact he said spend an hour a day upskilling. And here's the thing about skilling. Like if you start off and you're the log, let's say, hey, look, I'm the log, man. I've been tossed around by what's currently going on in my life, and it's just been life been whooping on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If you start to develop that log, you can turn that log into a boat. See, that log has potential. That log has potential to change into a ship.
Hey, no. My mentor got this little thing that has sound effects. I'm gonna get me one because that right there needed an explosion. What up, Kingdom Burris? How you doing? And I'm not necessarily sure who that Facebook user is, but what's happening to everybody who's watching? Make sure you guys are sharing. Make sure you guys are commenting. Stay commenting. If you have anything that you want to add to what we're saying, please do add. Because what we're doing right here is giving you nuggets, giving you wisdom, giving you the energy that you need to be able to go out there and build. Because the truth of the matter is this: we want you to be the boat. Every Tuesday and Thursday we come because we want you to be the boat. We want you to be the boat. We want you to have that direction and to go to where you need to go. Go ahead, Tia.
So, like I was saying, with the upskilling, and the reason why we are always talking about personal development, why personal development is so keen to your life, is the fact that if you don't want to be the log, if you don't want to be tossed around by what's currently going on in your life, if you want to be able to make your own decisions, choose your own direction, lay and plot your own course, you have to begin to develop the log. It's not that the log is not out there because it's on the ocean trying to get somewhere. It's just the log just has no ability to change its own direction. But if you were to begin to develop it, to start to upskill and build yourself, you will start to see the changes. LeVar, in your industry, I know that you work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and you have some entrepreneurs that come in and they just work. And they put their head down and they just work, but they just work and they lack direction because they're not actually out there upskilling. They're not actually out there developing themselves. And you will see oftentimes that somebody seems like they're doing less work but spending more time doing their personal development outperform them.
You know what? That's interesting that you say that. That happens not only just as entrepreneurs, but it also happens in corporate America as well, right? You have people that go to work every single day, just go to work every single day. They're not even bettering themselves when they get off work. They go to work, they get off work. You know, they may find themselves a TV show. They may find sports or whatever it may be, but they're never bettering themselves. And what I have found is for those people, even when they were in corporate America, for those people who continuously bettered themselves, where they weren't good enough. They wanted more out of life. They wanted to continue building themselves. They wanted to go to that next level in their life because they kept building themselves, right? They kept upskilling themselves. They kept in personal development. See, unfortunately, we don't realize, and we need to realize, We don't realize that we have an obligation to better ourselves, not just for us, but for the direction, the future, our babies, and everybody. We have an obligation for the community. And I mean, people be like, well, you know, I'm not really close to anybody in my community. Well, anybody who's close to you in general, right? Because we all can grow together. We all build together. If I have a community of people that are moving in a direction, it's hard for me to be stuck. It's hard for me to be stuck. It's hard for me to not want to move, because everybody around me is bettering themselves. Are you bettering yourself? Are you making sure you're that person, right? And you're that influence in your community? That's my question.
And you're right about that. It's so difficult to stay stagnant when everything around you is moving. Let's be honest. If you're sitting still and everybody around you is moving, let's not say they're moving fast. Let's just be honest. Let's just say they're walking, right? And you're standing still. There's a few people running, a few jogging, but you're standing still. You're becoming further and further behind. And at some point, it almost looks like you're going the opposite direction because everybody else is progressing. And even those that was once just a step or two ahead of you because they were walking, now they're miles out ahead of you. And it gets to a point where you realize that if you don't move, you're by yourself. Because see, as people get further out ahead of you, as people get further away, they get smaller. And the smaller they get, they begin to vanish. And as they vanish, you feel more and more alone. And then it sets in, life sets in that, hey, I was on the same track as them. I was on the same path, but I decided to stand still for a moment. I got off track. I stopped and tied my shoes, and then I sat down. It wasn't the fact that the obstacle was my shoes was untied, but then I sat down. I could have kneeled and tied my shoes and then got right back at it, but I sat down. See, when we're talking about getting off track, we're talking about sitting down. Like LeVar kind of mentioned it, you know what I'm saying? Are you watching a TV show? Generally, you're not standing watching a TV show because you're sitting down. You're watching your sporting events, you're sitting down. Like, it's oftentimes that when we sit down in life, we start to see the differences between those who are moving and those who are not. Like, are you sitting down somewhere that you don't want to be at? Let me say it like this. Are you choosing to sit somewhere out of discomfort because you don't want to be uncomfortable?
I like to call it being comfortable. People are comfortable being uncomfortable.
Well, I say discomfort for a reason, because oftentimes people will sit in discomfort because they don't want to be uncomfortable.
Comfortable being uncomfortable.
Well, if you get comfortable being uncomfortable, you'll start to see a lot of life changes.
You don't want to get out of that. You don't want to get out of your comfort zone, but you got to. You have to. You know, let me say this, and I'll let you close, my bro.
Okay.
See, understand this. Every day, we got to make sure that we're moving. We have to make sure, even if you're not moving in your body, physically body, you have to be moving here. You can't get stuck and be complacent. So one of the things that I tell individuals is this: write down and recite your goals every single day. Write down and recite your goals every single day. See, in business, one of the most important things to do is to track your business. But what I've learned with entrepreneurs, what I've learned with people is when things get hard and they're not doing what they need to do, they stop tracking their business because they don't want to see what they haven't been doing. Right? But no matter what, you got to make sure that you're tracking. Recite. Write down, recite your goals over and over and over and over again. Get that vision board. Make sure that you're paying attention to that vision board. Make sure you're paying attention to your direction every single day. Every single day. If you're laying in bed, look at your goals. Look at your vision. Recite it. I promise you it'll make it hard for you to stay there. You're not going to be like, man, I want to be rich. Nah. Nah. As my son been saying lately, bruh.
Bro.
Bruh, make sure you do what you need to do, all right, in order to get where you need to go. I'm super excited about what we got here in front of us. I'm excited about what we're doing and what we're getting ready to do with this particular platform, T. Hutton, because we got a lot of people to touch. We got a lot of people to help. And with our mindsets and us being sold on making sure that that's going to be the scenario, this thing is going to happen no matter what. We gonna change millions and millions of lives. And guess what? Those people that are watching us now, they're gonna see us. They're gonna get a chance to see us go through that particular process. And I'm excited about what's to come. T. Hutton, go ahead and close this out, brother.
All right, man. Well, look, so I told you I went and found the thing from my childhood. So it was a little child rhyme that goes, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. If the train jumps the track, do you want your money back? And then there's a portion that I don't even remember that says, if so, maybe no. And I was like, well, first off, I want my money back. Like, I didn't remember that part of I didn't remember that line. But the interesting part about it is that if so, yay, nay, maybe no, however it goes. Like, the fact of the matter is, if the train jumps off the track, what do you do then? We're telling you here at Grow, Live, Dream to make sure that you get the train back on the track, because you are the train and the tracks are your goals. They're what to lead you to your goals. Don't let life determine your destination. You determine the destination. You choose where you're going to end. And that starts with a day-to-day process. You must be honest with yourself. You must lay out those goals and you must stick to them. And when you get off track, get up, dust yourself off, get back out there. I remember playing football, got hit, blindside, boom, knocked down. My coach was like, all right, go get in the huddle. And I was like, hold up. I feel like he just knocked me out. I was like, no, if you still breathe and talk, go get in the huddle. And that's exactly it. Life will knock you down. You will get blindsided by things in life. But the fact of the matter is, when you get off track, it's your job. It is then that you determine whether or not you're going to be successful. It's then that you determine how important is it for you to reach your dreams. Yeah. And if it's truly important for you to reach your dreams, you'll get back up, dust yourself off, and get back on track. Once again, thank you for coming over to watch Grow, Live, Dream, spending some of your afternoon with us. Make sure you go out, like, love, share, subscribe to the YouTube. Get excited because we got this Instagram TV channel coming. I'm going to talk about it. I'm excited about it. But seriously, make sure you continue to grow, you continue to live, and continue to dream your best life. And we'll see you soon. Have a great one.